everyone, Dr. Beth Westie here, and I want to talk about how to add more protein into your day, really focusing on some specific veggies. A lot of times when I talk about protein, I always mention, adding lean meats or other dairy or, protein powders or bars or whatever. A lot of ways to add protein in. For my friends who are vegetarian or vegan or just looking to really pack in as much protein as possible, there's protein in your vegetables that you can make sure you're focusing on just to get to those protein numbers for the day. Again, so for those of you that are really trying to, be healthier and get a faster result, for women, the fastest results happen when you're adding more muscle. How do you add more muscle? Protein. Protein dance, apparently. Okay, I'm that excited about it. So when we look at everything that women try and do, especially with the new year. Hi, Nancy. Women oftentimes think of just cutting things out, cutting things down. Yes, it's important to focus on sugar, and I'm going to talk more about sugar this coming week, and some other things in balancing out, other nutrients, macros, keto, blah, 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 all this stuff. But really focusing on giving your body the most nutrient possible, and the number one nutrient I find that women are lacking for what their body system needs to get them to the results is protein. Protein is missing far, fast, and wide. So ladies, adding more protein. Couple of things on this. This is a great place to start, right? This doesn't mean it's right for everybody. So if you have questions on what might be right for you, don't hesitate to reach out and ask. I know, right, Erica? You're like reading ahead on what I'm going to talk about. So when we talk about goals for protein, there's a lot of different formulas out there and a lot of different things out there. This is a general baseline recommendation that the total amount of protein per day that you should be getting in grams would be equal to what you want your lean body mass to be in pounds. So for example, so you can calculate this by, and I can go through this more in detail in a different video, but calculate this and just figure out, okay, I want to lose weight or get in that fat burning zone, but I need more lean muscle to do that. So you're going to focus on getting there. So for a lot of gals, I talk about getting 120, 130 grams of protein a day, something like that. I shoot for myself 170. I'm 6'2", right? I am focused on gaining more lean muscle right now for my training. So that's my goal. So kind of keep these things in mind. But if you have questions on what your mark should be or what you should be shooting for, don't hesitate to ask. It's a really short, few questions, and I can kind of guide you into a good ballpark to start with for total grams of protein per the day. But also remember that anytime you're eating food or prepping a meal or all these other things, count your protein, because it takes a minimum of 20 grams of protein per meal to start protein muscle synthesis. So your body cannot make muscle. It just can't make muscle unless you're getting at least 20 grams of protein or more. So that's usually a baseline I talk about for women when you're wanting to get that lean muscle, burn more fat, be healthier, stronger, kill it in the gym, see results faster, all that stuff. So when we talk about veggies and getting, your proteins in, so sometimes it can be really tough. It can feel overwhelming to eat that much meat, or if you don't eat meat, or say you don't eat red meat, or you have a hard time digesting dairy. How do you get your protein in? You're going to have to add and piece together with everything that you can. So here's an equivalent thing just to kind of keep in mind. Beans are a great way, black beans are a great way to get protein in. Yes, there's a lot of fiber and there's some carb in them as well. But again, first step for a lot of gals is to get that protein in. So in 4 ounces of ground beef, there's 24 grams of protein. Also 24 grams of protein in 4 ounces of black beans. Kind of exciting, right? Yes. So if you are wanting to go, meatless, or you're a vegetarian, again, anything like that, just know that black beans, they do have some more carbohydrate than some of these vegetable options here, but they also have a lot of protein in them. So that's a good marker there. So when we talk about other vegetables to get your protein in for the day, again, we're looking at overall totals for the day. And yes, it's important to eat a variety of vegetables. Eat the rainbow of vegetables to get all these nutrients in and minerals, right? Vitamins, all that good stuff. Yay! And I'm going to talk about this one more time. When you're cooking, cast iron, cooking cast iron, because cast iron actually adds more iron to the food that you're cooking. And it adds some other minerals and other fun things too. So I cook eggs in this just about every day. I saute spinach in here, and that's high in iron. So really fighting anemia. And for women, that's very, very important. So cook your food, and this is my Lodge cast iron. That's upside down. This is my smaller egg pan. I can make 5 or 6 eggs in this with a sweet potato, like a big sweet potato, spinach, and eggs. And then I usually put cheese on top just because it's delicious. Yes. Ooh, Nancy, you got yours today. Yay! That's awesome. Right? Just, season it. And I use beeswax. Right? I melt beeswax in my cast iron just to help season it a little bit faster. But you can use olive oil, avocado oil. You know what's funny is that my favorite seasoning video about how to season a cast iron is actually from Martha Stewart. So, so you can Google that, and and that'll be it. KB, yes, you do need one. You need I have 4 of this. I have a square one, the small one, a regular size one, and then a giant one, and then I have a cast iron Dutch oven. Yeah, love cast iron. Love, love, love cast iron. And my other regular size one I don't use it a ton, because it was my grandmother, my great grandmother's or something like that. So, but anyway, this one's a newer one and fantastic. Again, adds a ton of iron to your food, adds a ton of nutrient, and great, great, great for adding those nutrients. Having other nutrients in your body is also really important for absorbing and digesting protein, because protein is one of the tougher things to break down and digest. So, and I'll talk about that more too, how your body digests and break down protein. But when we look at, again, getting that, I can't stress this enough, 20 grams of protein to start protein muscle synthesis. But let's look at some vegetables that also have protein. Wait, Lauren's saying you inherited all of your mom's cast iron pans when she passed away. You need to season them. Ooh, get beeswax. Yes, okay, great question. So I get beeswax. So I used to have bees. That's where some of my beeswax comes from. But you can also get it at any natural food store. They usually will have it in the section where they have some of their face products. You can use the same beeswax to make your own lip stuff or lotions or soaps or something like that. They'll have little bits of beeswax there that you can kind of melt down and cool into a clump, because I just keep it, I actually have it, we melted it down and put it in an ice cube tray. So we have little ice cubes of beeswax that's what I use to season it. So you just turn it on, using olive oil or avocado oil. Coconut oil doesn't work as well for seasoning a cast iron. You want it more viscous, the more viscous oil. Sprouts then, yes, yep. Yeah, it's a great thing to season it. And it really, especially the first couple of weeks you're using it, it will not stick. Stuff will just not stick. And beeswax is edible. Yeah. All right. So protein in baked potatoes. This is per 1 cup of cooked vegetable. So keep that in mind. Just 1 cup of cooked vegetable. So baked potatoes, 9 grams of protein per cup. So if you're struggling to get your protein in, or you're feeling like, oh, I think I might be missing the mark, or I'm not getting it in, or how do I make sure I can boost it as much as possible? This is a way to focus on your meals to make sure that you're really getting that protein in there. 9 grams of protein in a baked potato and a cup of cooked baked potato. Amazing. When we look at spinach, this is again a cup cooked. So when you cook spinach, especially when you cook it in a cast iron, it shrivels down into nothing. So I will take a handful like this, which is probably, it's 3 cups of fresh spinach to make 3/4 of a cup of spinach cooked. It whittles down into nothing. But this is just organic spinach I get at Costco. And that's 6 grams of protein. And then if you're looking at a cup of broccoli, so this is, this is about a good cup right here, this one bunch, right? And broccoli doesn't really wilt down when you cook it, but it will really get you another 5 grams of protein there. So again, if you're really focused on, okay, hey, how do I get more protein in? I'm really trying to get there, and I want to get at least 20 grams of protein per meal, but I'm not sure I did, or the meat source that I had wasn't enough, or, I didn't have enough of this or that at a certain meal. You can get, if one meal was maybe less than 20 grams of protein, the next meal can be 35 by getting, you know, say you have a black bean burger and then a baked potato and some spinach. You're looking at almost, you know, 40 grams of protein right there. Right? It's almost that easy where you're really just thinking about kind of shifting things around in a little different way. Are things like carrots important to eat? Yes. Do they have a lot of protein? No. You know, are other vegetables important? Yes. So of course having at least 2 vegetables at a meal is fantastic. But if you're focused on one of them being something that has more protein in it, again, those little things add up throughout the day. So at the end of the day, you're like, oh my gosh, I got an extra 30 grams of protein today to really make sure I'm hitting my protein marks all day long. So it is really just that easy of getting there. Lauren, your low, olive oil has a low burning point. Yes, it does. No, so that's just for seasoning it. So you don't like cook with it necessarily to, but just kind of warm it up in the pan. So because the oil kind of soaks into the cast iron. I feel like I should do a whole series of cooking with cast iron because I cook with cast iron. My husband cooks with cast iron. Full disclosure, he's a better cook than I am. He really is. He'll like bake and stuff with this, and you can throw this right in the oven and bake with it. But remember, the handle is metal, so use safety first. Don't burn your hand. All that stuff. But yeah, just for seasoning, yes. But I use a lot of avocado oil when I cook my eggs and spinach and mushroom and sweet potato and everything in here too. Yeah. So that's what I got for you guys today. This is, again, focusing on protein. It can feel tough, it can feel overwhelming, and sometimes if your day gets busy or you miss some snacks or you're feeling like, dang it, I missed the mark again today. How do I, you know, fit in more protein? How do I make sure I'm getting enough fuel for my body so that I'm doing things correctly? Because again, you can meal prep really, really well, and then all of a sudden 4 days will go by and you'll be like, oh my God, I forgot my snack this day. I didn't do this. We had a work lunch this day. I missed, and now I have all this other food. Ooh. So if at the end of the day you're feeling like I'm missing the mark or I'm not sure I'm getting enough protein in, just adding in some of these extra things can make sure that you're getting there. So that's what I got for you guys today. Let me know if you have any other questions. This is going to be amazing when women get more protein in their bodies. You know, when your body gets that opportunity to really, really build more lean muscle, it's incredible. The shift and the change that you have, the energy that you have, the how much better you sleep, the mental clarity and everything that you can achieve. Nancy, you're asking about proteins and things like that. Yes. So yeah, and you know what, I'm gonna do a whole section. I'll do that tomorrow on protein powder and adding protein in with protein powder, protein bars, how you digest and break down protein, because that's another thing that, again, you can buy something thinking, oh, this looks good, or this one thing says it's a really good thing on the label, but everything else on the label is garbage, or it's got artificial stuff in it that actually disrupts how well your body can absorb said protein, meaning it totally negates it in your body. I'll go through all that. I've spent years studying labels, research, working with formulators, all that stuff about how these products are made. So this is, yes. Yes, that's a whole nother video, Nancy, but I'll cover that tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, hopefully this was helpful, kind of covering protein from a different angle. I know, right? Potatoes, people are like, oh, there's protein in potatoes. Yeah, there is. Yeah, and broccoli and spinach, right? All good stuff to add more protein to your day. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow.